Now for tonight, we have a topic that is very interesting. Na some people will find it even to the point of controversial. Mo kagad si Erica. Mamaya ka na ma-excuse. So for tonight, I invited again our district coordinator, Henry, to be able to talk about this topic because it is so important to understand the scriptural basis for order in a marriage. Ever since the women's liberation movement started a decade or so ago, there has been a lot of disorder in men's and women's relationships. So hopefully tonight we will find where to find that order. And it is very important that we understand the basis, which is Ephesians 5, verses 22 to 33. So without further ado, let me call on Henry and Tess to give tonight's talk.
Sige, ladies first, Tess.
Okay, good evening everyone. It's good to be back. I hope that every week brings more excitement to you as you get to know about God's plan for your marriage. So before anything else, may I know who among you here danced the swing? Or the tango? The waltz? Swing. Alam ko si Mike and Jenny danced that. So what's common with these three kinds of dances? What's common here is they all need partners for you to be able to dance it. You cannot dance the swing alone, neither the tango. You have to have a partner for it. Okay. Another question. I'll be surprised if anyone answers here. Do you know Fred Astaire or Ginger Rogers? Oh yes, they do. So Fred Astaire and Ginger Rogers is considered the iconic dance partners or iconic dance duo. They're the most famous dance duo in Hollywood, and they were a box office name in the mid-1930s. So okay. Let's take a look at this video. Ang galing po nila, no? Kaya lang medyo luma na talaga because that was in mid-1930s. Okay, so did you see how swift their moves are? Parang how graceful they were as they traversed the dance floor. So, what's the point of the video? Okay, marriage is like dancing. It is beautiful when you see the couple dance to the roles that they have, diba? Hindi naman pwedeng pareho silang nagli-lead. But only the man leads the dancing. And the woman goes with the man. Kung i-turn siya sa right, syempre to-turn siya sa right. Okay? So, when a husband and wife move together in their roles as God desired, it is beautiful. Can you imagine if they are not in sync? Siguro baka they might be stepping on each other's foot. Or maybe si Fred would be stepping on the gown of Ginger. So there's really a movement that goes with it. And it's good that one follows the other as he leads. Okay. Imagine if they didn't have roles. Okay. In one of their movies, they have to repeat a dancing sequence 47 times. So 47 retakes just to perfect that dance. So at the end of the 47th, when the dance was all perfect, the foot of Ginger Rogers was already bleeding. So that's how hard it is to follow, diba? Pag hindi ka sumusunod, mahirap talaga i-perfect yung dance. And the pain that she suffered must be, it must be very painful for her to experience that when her feet are bleeding. Now let me call on my partner, my dancing partner, to tell you more about the roles that we play as husband and wife.
Puti me dancing. We know that, in any organization, in the company, in the place that you work, there is such a structure. So every set of human relations need a structure to function well. Diba? Sa opisina, there's a certain structure so that the whole office will work well. Diba? In marriage, such structure that will support the love relationship should foster actually peace and unity in the relationship. God has structured it so that the husband and wife work together as a team. Living it brings joy, peace, and unity to the marriage. We have a God who is a God of order. No? Ang ating Panginoon is a God of order. He's not a God of chaos. Actually, He wants to put order, and He wants to see order starting with our personal lives. And if you're married, He wants that order also in your marriage. And He wants that order, and He shares that order to us. No? He created Tess and myself equal in value, yet distinct in roles. No? Kaming dalawa ni Tess, we are of the same value. This He did so that marriage will run smoothly to function properly, just like in the corporate setup. Thus, He made Tess and myself to be complementary to each other, no? In our roles, in our family, in our marriage. He looks at our giftedness, which comes from Him, our roles and responsibilities to be good for the family. No? Each one of us, Tess and myself, we have our own giftedness. I bring something into the marriage, and Tess brings something into the marriage. There is value of each other's giftedness, and we work as a team. So what are my roles as a husband, no? And as I had my family? I'd like to share to you my understanding of it. First, I am a servant. No, hindi slave. No, I am a servant, not a slave. I am a servant subordinated to Christ. I am a servant subordinated under my God. No, that's how I understand it. First and foremost, I am under God's subordination. That I am answerable to God. No? As a head of and a servant of my family, I am answerable to God in my role as a husband and a father, and as a head of my family. In my realization, I have found that having a good relationship with God is key to doing my role as head of my family. Yung experience po namin ni Tess is, I observe that when I have a good relationship, I'm more nearer to God, our relationship becomes better. No? I would often ask the Lord what He wants me to do when there are difficult situations, no? Difficult decisions to do, no? Decisions to make. In my case, when the lives of Tess and Isabel were not certain, remember that sharing of Tess? When dumbuntis siya, tsaka yung aking anak na si Isabel, hindi ko alam kung mabubuhay hindi. No? I grabbed that opportunity to be close to him. No? It is in having a good relationship with Him that I draw confidence in my headship role, knowing that there is somebody that I can lean on and depend on. No? When there seems to be no answer or roads to traverse, no? When there are no hope, sasabihin ko, when there are dead ends, when my capacities are all dry, no, I would cling to Him and I would just be by myself and then ask the Lord, can you lead me somewhere here? I don't know what to do. No? And I think by then I am subordinated to Him because I need Him. I need Him. Second, I am the spiritual leader of my family. When I say spiritual leader, I try to be good. I try to be good for the sake of my family. I try to live a good life, meaning a life that is in accordance with what is right. Maybe sometimes it's not for the sake of myself, but for the sake of Isabel and for the sake of Tess. No? I do it. Sometimes sabi ko, when there's a crossroad, will this be good for will I be a good witness example to my daughter or to Tess? No? I want to bring them to heaven. No? I want them to bring to heaven. I don't want them to go and suffer in the next life. I just want them to bring to heaven. And I think my realization with that, I cannot bring them if I cannot bring myself also there. So for their sake and for my sake, I try to live a good life. No? As I work for the comfort and decency of my family, I work also on having a consciousness of God's presence in our lives as a spiritual leader of my family. How do I do that? I share to you that it's not, I don't kneel there and show them that I prayed, even the rosary, no. Some very simple examples of that is, I would find occasions when I can thank the Lord. Sasabihin ko sa anak ko, oh, Isabel, nanalo ang, sino bang tiga-Ateneo dito? Civic tiga-Ateneo. Nanalo yung volleyball team ng Lasal. Avid, ng anak ko yung Lasal. Magpasalamat tayo. No? Pasalamat tayo. Let's say, I have my bonus, and sasabihin ko, I share. Sabi ko, Daddy received his Christmas bonus, so maybe we can go out and eat. Let's thank the Lord for that. When she's sick, and we pray that she will get well, we thank the Lord. Small things. No? We thank, sasabihin ko, let's, kunwari, I find those teaching moments with my daughter, and we are traversing, let's say, to the school, and makakita kami ng isang naglalakad na bata, nakanapsak, maaga, kami nakasakyan. Sasabihin ko, alam mo Isabel, look at that kid. He's walking very early. Maybe he's, alam ko yung school namin, yung school nila, public. You know, let's be grateful to the Lord that He gives us these provisions for us. Certain things, blessings, a project, when we transferred to a new home, we said this is provided by the Lord. Certain things. So I point certain things, small, ordinary things, small things and big things. And I'm conscious that as I work to be a provider, then we thank the Lord for all the things that we receive. And I think by doing this, I'm able to gain the respect of my family. As a provider, it's another role that I do. At present, my wife is a full-time wife, or what she describes herself to be a domestic diva. No, mas maganda yan. Domestic diva. Sabi ko kasi sa kanya, wag mo lang sabihin na housewife ka. Kasi pag kinumpute mo ako nung ginagawa ng housewife, no, the things that you do for me, sabi ko, it's more than an executive. It's more than executive. No? Try staying at home for about a month and doing all those laundries and everything. So she takes care of the home for us, putting order in it. No? And I am the main provider for our family. No? But during the first 3 years of our marriage, Tess earned more than I did. Much higher. No, much higher. At the start, it was clear to us we are a team. We are a team and should work together for the betterment of our marriage. You know, this made me feel confident even with that situation where her earning capacity was greater than mine. And this has helped me work harder in my role as a provider. Sa trabaho ako, I worked hard. Another role is head of the home. Head of the home. I have been very conscious as I perform my role as the head of my family. I was careful to watch myself of being too bossy or dominating in aspects of our life together as a husband and wife. I was very careful. It was and is about me taking the responsibility of complementing each other in the home and family life. Ito yung kaninang slide na complementary. No? I am taking responsibility that I see the giftedness of Tess and how Tess's giftedness can bring in that complementary atmosphere in our relationship as we work on our life together. Being the head of the family is not easy. It's never easy. It puts a lot of heavy burden on me. It puts a lot of, heavy burden on me. In making decisions for the family, I have to make sure that my family is considered first because I am answerable to God. I am answerable to God. Being the head of the home requires that I give sacrificial love to Tess. No? Last Monday, Chito mentioned in his talk, I have to love her as Christ loved the church and be willing to die for her. This love that the husband is supposed to embody is impossible without the grace of God. Nabi ni Chito. To love sacrificially means that the husband must at times give up other things to serve and to please his wife. He must sacrifice for her. He must sacrifice time, which I think most of us or all of us do. Ito medyo mahirap. He must sacrifice entertainment, gadgets, no? Friendship sometimes, sometimes even career, no? Career. In my case, there was a time that I had opportunity to be promoted, but weighing it down, sitting down with Tess, it will take me away from my young family. No? Isabel was a 6.5-month baby, and it would take me away, and it's a sacrifice. They're both good, but I had to choose my family. No? It is a unselfish headship. No? Unselfish headship, putting my wife's benefit ahead of mine. It is a headship that is not self-centered, and it's not about us, husbands. It's not about us. It is trying to understand my wife's need. I think I go back again that it is, for me, I realized, and it's a burden to be a head. It is not given to you on a silver platter, no? It's something that you have to work on. That's what I realize. Being the head of the home means that I give her a personal kind of love. Tess, no? I must love her as I love myself. I should understand her love language. No? I express this in areas of making sure her day is in order. No? Lagi kong, ako ginagawa ko, tinatanong ko kay Tess, kumusta na Kumusta ka ngayon? I'll call her, I'll text her at the middle of the day and ask her, how's your day? How's your day? Have you taken your lunch? Diba? Have you taken your lunch? Something like that. One kind of personal love is to remember dates. I should not forget our anniversary, nor her birthday, or the first time I dated her, or the date when she said yes. Maraming nagre-react dito, mukhang may I go out daw, may I go out now. So these, I think, are very small things for us husbands. But I tried to understand because in one of our communication, I asked her, why are these dates so big time? I mean, big deal with you. I thought she was unique. No, then we went with friends, and then I found out that it's something very special to wives. No, does it mean that alam ko na special kay Tess? So I'd like to please her. That's the kind of personal love that I understand. So tinatanong ko, ano ba yung personal love sa'yo? Ano ba yung what makes you happy? You know, Daddy, you don't need to bring me an expensive restaurant, although I can enjoy that. No? You know, just remember me maybe once a day, text me, certain things that I think I have to discover, and sometimes I have to ask. And I want help so that I can be that personal love that she needs. Sometimes I have travels, pag minsan yung local na pupunta ako ng Pampanga. So dadaan ako ng susis, bibili ako ng ano ba yung nangyayari, tibok-tibok ba yung tawag doon? Bibili ako ng kakanin, certain things na because that what makes her happy, joyful, no? Okay, Tess?
So I speak now for the wives. Okay. So as Henry shared, I was working before, and I handled a unit in a bank, and as such, I was trained to manage people, to organize the work, and to coordinate with the other units of the bank. And that was me in the workplace. But when I got married, I just found out that I cannot live out, or I cannot handle our home in the same way that I would handle my work. And I found out that we have different roles in our marriage, that we are equal, as Henry said, but very distinct, very different in our roles. We all know that God made women as helpmates of their husband, as fitting partners for their husband, a suitable partner for him. And God made us equal in value, as what Henry said. In our relationship to Christ, we are equal, yet we have distinct roles in marriage, and He did it intentionally and purposefully. So my role as a suitable partner to Henry is as necessary in the life of our home in the same way as his role is necessary. We cannot do without the other. It should be both present in the home. And these particular roles assigned to Henry and I were designed to help us work together in unity. Okay. So these very differences we have as husband and wife enable us to function in unity, and neither of these roles is more important than the other. They are equally important. And that is designed so that we will be able to work as a team. So since we are complementary, and if we want our marriage to be 100% working, it cannot be that, I will tell him, you do your 50%, I do my 50%. Pag inad mo nga naman yun, 100%, diba? But in the economy of marriage, it's not like that. We are both supposed to give 100% of ourselves to our marriage, and 100% play the role 100% each. So both of us have to play 100% of ourselves to make our marriage whole and working harmoniously, joyfully, and in unity. So nowadays, we know that women are empowered, that they do well in their careers, they bring home the bacon, and they fry it themselves. So that's not bad, as what Henry said, no? I was that before. In fact, he told me I should feel blessed because God gave me a stable job and He provides for me and gives me material abundance. However, when I get home at the end of a long day at work, I have to change hats from a corporate person, corporate woman, to that of a wife and a mother. So as a wife and a mother, my primary responsibility is for the family's internal life. That means I have to make the home run smoothly and to care for my family members. So as Henry said, I have been a domestic diva for the past 17 years. And I have experienced concretely the role of being Henry's helpmate. I have seen our partnership grow, no? Hindi naman po kami nag-start sailing smoothly, no? It had to be learned, and I saw that it has grown through the years, that even our daughters know the roles that we play in the family. So alam niya po who makes the decision, he knows who is to run to when she needs something. So she really knows clearly the roles that her mom and dad play. There are some roles that are clearly mine. Okay? Being the homemaker, I would make sure that the home runs smoothly and that I plan the meals. Sometimes I prepare it myself. Swerte naman po ako, I have one helper who helps me in the home. So I make sure also that they have clothes to wear every day. Kompleto yung uniform ng daughter ko. The clothes of my husband are there for him to wear every day. Though I don't do the laundry and the ironing, but I make sure na okay na ba yung clothes nila? That's what I make sure of. And aside from that, I attend to their needs, whatever they are. She would call me, I need this, so I would run and buy for her. So those are the things that clearly are mine. But there are some roles that are delegated to me. So as Henry said, he trusts that I would be able to handle our money well, and so when he has extra, he would give me and say, oh sige, bahala ka na where to invest it. Or he asks me to help in their family business in the province. So I would check the financial records of the company. I would price the different products, and I would make sure that there is inventory. But there are also roles that are shared between us. Pareho po kasi kami, we love to both cook and bake. So sometimes he would cook, sometimes he would go to the market on a weekend and buy and cook for us. Sometimes he would bake as well. And since he was trained by his mom is a home economics teacher. And so she trained them to be able to fix the house. So when we buy, let's say, furnitures or fixtures, dalawa po kami nagdi-decide. Kasi sasabihin niya, eto gusto ko yan kasi masaya yung print ng curtain, parang ganun. So we would both do that. So those are shared responsibilities. I realized that when roles are set, the home runs smoothly. No second guessing, no second thoughts on sino kaya ang magluluto ngayon or sino kaya ang magme-make sure that there are clothes there to wear. Our roles in this family take into consideration our giftedness and our abilities. I draw confidence from the fact that I have a contribution in our family and that neither Henry and I can, kumbaga, make the home run smoothly without each other's help. So another important role that I play is to give emotional and spiritual support to my family. So I make sure that at the end of the day, I will be there for them, listening to how their day went, and I would be there to pray for them when they need prayers during critical times. When my daughter leaves in the morning, she would tell me, Mom, can you pray for me at about 10 o'clock because I have a quiz? So she knows that, she would give the exact time when she will take a quiz. So, Mom, 11:30, please say a prayer for me. So those are things, that's one of the roles that I play, being emotional and spiritual support to my family. For Henry, I would speak words of encouragement whenever he's discouraged, whenever he's doubting, whenever there are problems in the office. I would try to encourage him and tell him that, it will still work out well. Mas mabuti nang marami kang ginagawa kaysa sa wala kang ginagawa. Mas delikado yon. Ibig sabihin, wala ka ng trabaho. So I would do that for him. So again, let's take a look at this video clip from the movie Fireproof. This is about Caleb, a firefighter. He's a fire captain, and his wife, Catherine, who is a hospital administrator. And let's see, because they're experiencing marital difficulties. So in this scene, we will see what it's like when roles are not established and when they are not played in the home.
doing?
So you left me no pizza?
Caleb, I just lit that candle. I like the way it smells.
Well, I don't. Did you leave me any at all?
I assumed you were eating with Michael.
Does it not occur to you that there are two people living in this house and both of them need to eat?
You know what, Caleb? If you would communicate with me, maybe I could have something for you.
Why do you have to make everything so difficult?
Oh, I'm making everything difficult? Seems to me like I'm the one carrying the weight around here while you're off doing your own thing.
Excuse me? I'm the one out there working to pay this mortgage, and I pay for both of the cars.
Yeah, and that's all you do. I pay all of our bills with my salary.
Which you agreed to do. That's fair. Do you not like this house? Do you not like your car?
Oh, Caleb, who takes care of this house?
Yeah.
Me. Who washes all the clothes? Me. Who gets all the groceries? Me. Not to mention I'm helping my parents every weekend. You know, I've got all this pressure on me, and the only thing you ever do for anybody is for yourself.
Let me tell you something. You don't know the first thing about pressure. All right, you think I put out house fires for myself? Or rush to car wrecks at 2 a.m. for myself? Or pull a child's body out of a lake for myself? You have no idea what I go through.
Oh, yeah, but what do you do around here other than watch TV and waste time on the internet? You know what? If looking at that trash is how you get fulfilled, that's fine, but I will not compete with it.
Well, I sure don't get it from you.
And you won't, because you care more about saving for your stupid boat and pleasing yourself than you ever did about me.
Shut up! I'm sick of you! You disrespectful, ungrateful, selfish woman! How dare you say that to me? You constantly nag me and you drain the life out of me. I'm tired of it. If you can't give me the respect I deserve, look at me. Then what's the point of this marriage?
Napagod ako. Nakakapagod, no? Just looking at it. So, dito sa script ko, tatanong ko, what is wrong in that video? I would ask, what is right about that video? They're good actors and actress, no? They played their role very well. Well, in a negative way, no? Clearly, both have mistakes, and they have allowed their faults to ruin their marriage, no? They've allowed it, no? This particular scene is just a product of small things that builds up. Things that, little by little, it builds up, and this is some of the fruitfulness of it. You will see a lot of red lights or warning signals for the husbands when exercising their roles in the marriage. We've seen that there. When you see the husband, there are red lights or warning signals that I think the husband did there. I'd like to share to you my own list of those red lights or warning signals. I'll share them to you. One is pride. I am, in some instances, pride in my relationship with Tess. No? When I know I'm right, then I shut her off because I don't want to listen to her. I shut her off. No, that's pride. Humility. No, humility. Pag minsan, naisip ko mas magaling ako sa kanya. No? Hindi ko naman sinasabing magaling ako sa kanya sa harap niya, pero sa loob-loob ko magaling ako, mas magaling ako in this area or what, no? I think that's one I've experienced that. Another one is asking for forgiveness. No? Sometimes I know that I'm wrong, but I cannot ask for forgiveness. I cannot admit and I cannot own my own faults. Why? I think it's very costly, humiliating. It takes a lot of energy from me to be able to step out and say, Tess, please forgive me. I've done this. I regret it. And I'm sorry. Pag minsan napakahirap gawin yan. That's a red light for me. Another red light is lording over Tess. Lording or bossy to Tess, to my wife. No? Sometimes I go from the office because I'm in a corporate setting. Sometimes I bring that to the home. It's like she's, siguro without me realizing it, I still, you know, I still bring that particular authority as if it is an office, lording over her. No? Another one that I think I've experienced as a red light, and I watch myself, is no moral courage. No moral courage. I've shared a while ago, part of my roles that I see to it that I work on is to be good for the sake of them, to recognize and be conscious of God's goodness to us, and to know what is right and wrong. Sometimes I don't have that courage to say that's wrong or this is right. That I will not bring them to the right path because of convenience, because of so many things. No moral courage. Ito madalas, laziness and complacency. No, laziness. I'm lazy at home. I see her moving around and fixing and putting order at the home. Just there with my gadget, being not mindful, di ba? Laziness. Dito ko ba nakwento yung knob? Yeah. Yung knob, no? Di ba? Yung doorbell. Alam niyo yung doorbell? Si Peggy tsaka si Charlie, alam ni kaibigan ko yung mga yan eh, no? For 1 year wala kaming doorbell. Ang doorbell namin, digital. Pag pumunta ka sa amin, tatawag ka, magte-text ka. Bababa kami. For 1 year or more than 1 year, no? Sinasabi ng asawa ko, pakipalitan niyo yung doorbell. Sabi ko, oo. No? Dumating doon sa punto, yung sa kaibigan namin, papasko yun eh. Si Chito, yung kaibigan ko, sabi niya, Henry, anong gusto mong regalo sa Pasko? Meron ka na ba doorbell? Diba? Sawa ng Diyos nung tinanong niya sa akin, bumili ako, nakabili na ako. Ang problema, hindi nakakabit. Sabi ko, pwede mo ba akong ikaw magbayad dun sa paglalagay ng doorbell? Laziness. Laziness. Complacency. Yan, tumatawa yung asawa ko. Please forgive me. No dialogue. I just let things happen. I just let situations happen without talking, without setting those communication until they build up. That's a red signal for me. No? Kami, ako yan. I'm just sharing to you some of my personal list. And siguro, one way or the other, you can relate in some of those. I'm sure you have those, your personal list. Ito, very, very important ito. Itong listahan. Physically present, but emotionally and spiritually absent. Physically present, but emotionally and spiritually absent. I can be at home, but I am so engrossed with work that nobody can talk to me. So I'm not there. My daughter is tiptoeing before she can talk to me. But I'm at home, but I'm not present. I can be at home, but I can not be present with Tess when she had a hard day, and I don't even ask her how the day was because I'm too preoccupied with myself. Spiritually absent. I can be there, but I missed all of those. No, the things that I shared a while ago. No, if pag minsan marami kang pinagdadaanan, nakakalimutan mo yan. No, so physically present but emotionally and spiritually absent. If there are challenges, there are certainly ways by which we can get out of those situations. We can get out of those situations. And these are the things that I've experienced that help me get out of those situations. Work on being faithful to God. work on being faithful to God. Not necessarily spiritual, religious na pare, no. Hindi. Meron akong kapatid na pare, no, namatay na. Hindi ako katulad niya. No. Simple things. Do I pray? I'm a Catholic. I want to be faithful. Do I bring my family and go to Mass every Sunday? Very simple. Faithful. Sometimes I've realized that these things they're just asking me to be faithful, to pray to God, and to be faithful, to go to Mass. Very simple. No? My daughter goes to a Catholic school. It would be a good witness if even puyat na puyat kami at sasabihin ko, let's go to Mass. And I think it helps. It helps. It puts order. Choose God to be the third person. Nandyan yun sa mga tanong in our marriage. And we always find reasons to thank the Lord. No? Ito yung formula namin ni Tess. Sabi namin ni Tess, let's always find a reason to thank the Lord so that we can be contented of what we have. Sabi namin ni Tess, let us thank the Lord in small things and in big things so that we can be contented with what we have. Kung konti, pasalamat tayo. Kung madami, pasalamat din tayo. These are the things that help us. No? 2, we work on our relationships with one another as husband, as spouse, and with our children, no? With my child, with my daughter. We remind ourselves we are husband-wife team on the same side. Work for a common good for the marriage. And we remind ourselves we just need to play our roles right. No? We have to just need to play our roles right. Respect is king. Respect is king. Same value, Tess and myself. Respect is king in our home. 3rd, we found this very, very useful, and you've heard 2 chapters in your book. We work on our communication. We work on our communication. We make it happen. If I don't make it happen, ang rules of engagement namin ni Tess, ang agreement namin, remind me lovingly. No, not naggingly. No, remind me lovingly. Which he does. Noon naman fina-follow up niya yung doorknob tsaka bell, hindi naman siya nagnanag eh. No. Nagsawa lang. We work on our schedule. So spend quality time with family, no? Kami ni Tess, every Sunday or every Monday morning, we sit down, we arrange our calendars for the week so that we can find time when will be a quality time for us. We're quite busy. I have my job. Sometimes my job calls me out of Metro Manila. We serve the church. We serve like this. We engage ourselves and share what the Lord has given to us, such as this night, and like Charlie and Peggy. So it feels a little bit our time and our calendar. So it's very important for us to put certain things and look, this is our family time. On Sunday we'll go out, something like that. So we found it very, very helpful for us. We have meals together. Alam po ninyo, yung aking anak, and I've shared this with my friends because we're very busy. Sometimes at the end of the week, sasabihin ng anak ko sa akin, which helps us, Daddy, we only ate together 3 times this week. We only ate together 3 times this week. 3 of 21 meals, sasabihin ng anak ko sa akin. So that is how it echoes how important it is for us to purposely and decide to have family time together. I think this is my experience of this one, as my daughter would share the experiences of what she's hearing in school and tells them, you know, Dad, kunwari, my friend like this, she doesn't see her dad. She doesn't see her dad. So certain things, it allows us to work on our challenges, and there is a way out on that one. Lastly, put priority on your family. I place priority in my family. That's why it's sacrificial. Sometimes I've shared to you that there are several career opportunities that I missed. And I don't regret missing those opportunities, because even after that, I see myself comfortable, maybe not too rich, happy, maybe sometimes going through rough times, but all in all, it brings joy. There's something that I cannot explain, but there's contentment, there is joy in our family. So love your wife as you love yourself, for the husbands, and putting our family before ourselves.
So it's not only Henry who went through some challenges in playing his roles. And I too experienced some challenges in being the housewife or the helpmate of my husband. And I must confess before that sometimes I would feel I'm better than Henry. Kung akala niya ba siya lang nag-iisip na better, siya ako rin naman nag-iisip. And so I would feel that. And sometimes when he's medyo mabagal in making a decision, when it's taking him long to make a decision, sometimes I would just step in and make a decision because I'm able to make a decision faster. And I think because I'm better than him, I make good decisions. But I have learned that it ends up in a fight, especially when I know that, or especially when my decision is not, kumbaga, not for the good of the family. So that's one thing that there's a power struggle that's going on in me. And sometimes I would manipulate him just so that he would decide the way I want him to decide. So hindi rin naman po maganda yon. There are times when I feel that that I am not an able support for him. Kasi nga, sabihin ko sa kanya, kasi housewife lang ako. But he would say, no, don't think about that. And as he said a while ago, when he would compute, and he would say, no, your value is worth more than what you think you are. And I have a significant degree of authority and responsibility as much as he does. And what I fail to see is that my authority and my responsibility is the same as his. And as I shared earlier, one cannot go without the other. It's always a teamwork. And well, I also fail to see that I am able to play a significant part in molding our daughter, and also giving personal and spiritual support to them. Another one is fear of the future. There was a time in our lives when Isabel was small. Before that, backtrack. Henry and I were supposed to migrate to Canada. We were supposed to stay there because we couldn't have a baby, and we found out that there's a program there and we wanted to be part of it, free yung treatment. The treatment that I'm going through here is not yet accepted there, and so they want to test it. And so we were supposed to migrate to Canada. When he told his boss, I'm leaving, I'm going to Canada. And he said, don't leave. He said, I will give you a raise, I will give you this benefit, I will give you a house, So he promised a lot of things to him. So okay. So we decided not to leave because I also got pregnant before we decided to leave. But after a few years, I went back to him and said, Dad, don't you think you should go back to your boss and ask for those benefits that he promised? So yes, he increased his salary. What he did was to add my salary to his because I became a housewife, so he added my salary to his. So okay na kami doon. But after a while, when bills are catching up, and my daughter's going to school na, I said, Dad, we need more. I said, we need more. So you go back to your boss and ask for that increase that he's been promising you. But siya, sabi niya, cool ka lang, Tess, cool ka lang. So I said, my husband, I started doubting him. I don't think you're doing your best to be able to provide for the family. And so, you know, actually, now I realized, and I'm happy that he was really telling me, Tess, if you want me to earn more, I can go to another company. I have a pending offer in this company, and this company, and this company. True, they would really give me the money that you like, but the problem is they would also take me away from you most of the time. And so, because akong love language ko is quality time, sabi ko, oo nga. So I'm thankful that he really thought about it before going straight to his boss and asking for it. But like Henry, no, there is a God who wants to see our marriages in order. So these are naman the things that I guess is important. No, my posture as a wife is that of like a church who loves, respects, and serves Christ in the same way that I would love, respect, and serve my husband. But I need some kind of a faith so that there is a conversion of the heart. There's a conversion in me that I would be able to become his helpmate and his suitable partner, and to be able to accept that role. I need to have faith in God and trust Him that the God who called us to marriage is the same God who wants to see us through, who will see us through, and that He is the same God that will enable me to become the suitable partner for Him. Throughout our married life, I have learned some things which I carry in my heart. So these are the things that I learned. First, I always put in mind that Christ, that the source of our love for each other is really Christ, and that Henry, I know, loves me with the same love as Christ. That he would put me first, that he would prioritize me when things go wrong, when things are difficult. I know that he would put me first in his list. And that, as what he said, we are on the same side of the coin. I always think about it when our decisions are not the same. That our goal is really for the good of the family. Kaya lang minsan we have different ways of attaining it. I also repeat to myself every time, over and over again, that Henry was appointed by the Lord to be the head of the family. And therefore, He gives that grace so that he can be able to fulfill that role. And because of our complementarity, I'm thankful naman that he would always ask me my side. When there are decisions to be made, he would ask me, what do you think about this? So whether it's a small or big decision, he would often ask me what my thoughts are. But when his decision is unpopular, as I would always say, pag hindi po kami nagmi-meet in our decisions, I would always fight my battles kneeling down. I would pray to the Lord, nagsusubong ako, Lord, ba't naman ganyan yung decision niya when I feel that my decision is better? But you know, after so much praying, I know that the Lord will just pacify me and will tell me na, okay, Tess, just relax. And with that, I am assured that, you know, if there is something wrong with this decision, I am sure that the Lord will just correct it and that He will not allow it to affect our family negatively. So, okay, I also try to maintain a quiet spirit, not fretting over little things or not anxious about what's going on, and not letting emotional pressures dictate the way I act. So I would always find things or situations to be grateful for. Sabi nga ni Henry, we would always think of ways or things that we are thankful for. And I try to put my life in order, my relationship with the Lord and my relationship with Henry. And I endeavor to focus on my responsibilities as a wife. So my posture as a wife is not born out of passivity. Hindi ko naman po pinapabayaan lang si Henry because I would also say my point, no? And it is not born out of fear. I do not play my role as a helpmate because I am fearful of him. But it is out of the confidence that I am in my God-given place of responsibility and authority. I know that God has placed me here, therefore I play my role well. And I believe that when my daughter sees that there is a good relationship between me and Henry, she becomes more secured and more confident. Siguro when she was about 9 or 10 years old, she knows when things are not right at home. Kasi we are really more quiet at home. Pagka peaceful yung bahay namin, ibig sabihin there's something wrong. And so, when that time comes, every time that time comes, she would tell me, Mom, let's make peace with Dad. Because every time that I know you are fighting, I am scared that you will separate. So that's what she keeps on telling me. And now we would always think about that. Kasi she has heard about her classmates sharing na their parents are separated, that her mom has her own family. And I remembered when she was preschool, she went home, she said, Mom, I like to be like the name of the classmates. I go, why? Because she has 2 moms and 2 dads. So the other day I told her, oh, so do you like to have 2 moms and 2 dads? Mom, that's wrong pala eh, sabi niya. She goes, that's wrong pala. That means they're separated and they've found their own families. So in her innocence, yun pala yung gusto niya. Sabi ko, why do you like to have 2 moms and 2 dads? Because she gets more gifts, yun sabi niya. So she was young then. So yun, when she sees that I'm supportive of her dad, that I follow her leadings and I am cooperating with him, she's very happy about it. And I see that the reason why Henry and I would place a premium on our communication is because we really want our relationship to be guided, to be well, and that we are able to resolve our issues, plan for our family, and enjoy each other as we communicate. Okay, lastly, I give my all as I serve my family. As I said, it cannot be 50-50, 50 sa kanya, 50 sa akin. It should be 100%. And I would do that. Although I may say that my all may not be perfect. So, but I try to give what I can. I would always say that as a housewife, there is not much I can contribute to the financial standing of our family, but as Henry would say, my service is enough. And he would say it cannot be measured, it is valuable, and it allows him to perform his other responsibilities aside from that of being head of the home, also his responsibilities outside of the home. So those are the ways by which I am able to support him, and the ways by which I can support his commitment to be the head of the family. So as a closing, let us leave you with a last movie clip also from Fireproof. Now this shows how indissoluble our marriages are and how we should complement each other in our marriages as husband and wives, working for the unity of our family and doing our God-given roles.
Well, if it brings peace.
But Caleb, you want the right kind of peace.
What do you mean by that?
Do you know what that ring on your finger means?
It means I'm married.
Yeah, well, it also means you made a lifelong covenant. You putting on that ring while saying your vows. The sad part about it is, when most people promise for better or for worse, they really only mean for the better.
Catherine and I were in love when we got married, but today, we're 2 very different people, all right? It's just not working out anymore.
Caleb, salt and pepper are completely different. Their makeup is different, their taste and their color. But you always see them together. And when you... Hold on just a second.
What are you doing? Michael, hey, what'd you do that for?
Caleb, when 2 people get married, it's for better or for worse, for richer or for poorer, in sickness and in health.
I know that, but marriages aren't fireproof. Sometimes you get burned.
Fireproof doesn't mean that fire will never come, but that when it comes, you'll be able to withstand it.
You didn't have to glue them together.
Don't do it, Caleb. If you pull them apart now, you'll break either one or both of them.
So we leave you with that, and our challenge is that we always try to find the 4 better, even in the 4 worst situations of our marriage, and that we play our roles so that God, who desires for us to find joy, peace, and unity in our marriages, will also be delighted in the way we play it. Thank you.
Thank you, Henry and Tess. Now for our group discussions, so here are the questions that will be tackled for tonight. What are the two most useful things I personally received from this chapter? And how can it be of help to my marriage? And how can you bring God's order more into your marriage? Okay, so let's now divide into our groups.